Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be talking about all things budgeting. So we are going to talk about how much money do we really need for our household account to be able to just survive, to live, to afford to pay all of our bills, eat, and function. So let's talk about it. If you're new to my channel, welcome. If you're not new, welcome back. My name is Janelle. I'm a wife and a mother of one, and on here I do all things budgeting. So hopefully these videos don't get mixed up, but I did do a video talking about whether or not me and my family were ready for an emergency in the economy that we're in, high inflation and all of those things. Do we have a good emergency fund? Are we paying off our debt, being mindful of our spending and things of that sort? So if you haven't checked that video out, I will try to remember to link it in the description box below. Now, this is another video. In this video, like I said, we are going to be talking about how much money do we really need to be able to function. We may not be able to live a high-class life or things like that, but just to be able to function every single month. So the number that I came up with, you guys, is $4,700. That is the bare minimum we would need in order to survive. So let's go through the breakdown of everything and see exactly how everything pans out. So first, we have income. Between me and my husband, we are going to be putting together altogether that $4,700. We are currently 1 month ahead in all of our bills, and that money just sits in the checking account so that on the first, all of the bills can be paid and we are not worrying about waiting for a check to come in to be able to make those payments. So we are working with $4,700. Next will be our debt. We have 3 debts that we currently have right now. Our mortgage, and that is going to be like the last thing that we worry, or the last thing we're worrying about, because we do have a 2.5% interest rate. Our savings accounts give us more, and we are worried more so about our personal high interest debt and things like that. So we have our mortgage, which is at $22.49 right now. Then we have our Discover credit card. That is our household card at $100. And then we have a water treatment system, which is $107.86. Though all of that money equals out to $2,448.35. And that is going to be all of our debt that we would need to make sure gets paid every single month until the Discover card is paid off in the water treatment. But just as we're speaking now. Next would be our fixed expenses. So some of these things will be averages because they're not really the same thing every single month. But daycare, starting in September, will go back up again to $10.40 a month, although starting in January, it will go back down again because she will be going into like a different classroom. She's going up in age. So that also fluctuates at time too. But for the purposes, we're going to stick with what would be happening in September. And so that would be $10.40 a month. And then we would have our ADT security system, and that is $60.50. We currently have our internet at $86.60. Our YouTube TV, which is our only subscription that we pay out of. I mean, I don't pay for any subscriptions currently, but my husband does. But for the household, our YouTube TV is where we watch everything. That is $95.03, and those things stay the same. Now we have our gas for maybe 9 months out the year. We don't spend more than $40 a month for for gas. So gas is about $40 on average. Then we have our water bill. Now our water bill is a little funky. It does all of its things. But this year, the one time that our water bill has been over $200 so far is our bill for September. Everything else, it has stayed under $200. So I'm going to say about $185 or so. Our electricity also has been a little wonky, Prior to this year, our light bill has never really been over $200. Maybe in August esque or maybe September. We do live in Texas, so August is the hottest time of the year. So you'll have 1 or 2 months where they're really high. However, this year, our light bill has been pretty high, but still on average it's in that 150 to 180 range. So that would be our averages. Now the number that I'm telling you may not necessarily add up, so if you see on the screen that the number is a little bit different, that was because afterwards I really decided to go back and look at the numbers and see what they were. But I just budgeted everything for our fixed expenses to be on average about $1,550 a month. Okay, and then now we're going over to our spending account. So starting in September, you will not see our gas spending account anymore because I actually moved that over to personal. Our household does not actually cover gas for both me and my husband. It was just me, so I'm making that my personal thing to deal with. So I took gas out. So with that being said, there is not money that needs to be allocated towards gas. So we have our groceries. We are going to budget anywhere between $300 to $400 a month. And then we have our household that would just stick with about $150. That seems to work. And then for spending, eating out, and baby girl, those are just all a little bit flexible and the money can be moved around some. But as a whole, I am just budgeting $610 going into our spending accounts each month, and that would cover for everything for the household. And then lastly, we have our sinking funds. After all of the numbers are done, granted, like I said, the numbers might be off once I finally go back and actually run the numbers, but based on my preliminary numbers, we would have about $91 left to allocate towards sinking funds. And honestly, if worst case scenario was to come, that money would just split between rainy day funds and emergency fund, and making sure that money is built up. So in case of anything, there's already money in there that would avoid us from having to go into debt. And y'all, I'm actually very much so surprised because sometimes I'm so critical about my budget and just how I'm moving money and things like that. But I think for us to be able to live off of $4,700 a month and all of our bills are paid actually makes me feel really good, because if we didn't have any personal debt, like all the extra money that we had, we could definitely accomplish goals. And that is the reason why I wanted to really break down what we needed, because I am pushing to get myself out of personal debt by the end of the year and start focusing on bigger goals and preparing myself and our household to just be in a better position for 2025. So that is what I'm looking at for our household budget. I hope you guys enjoyed this short little video. If it has helped you, make you look at your budget a little bit differently and what you need to do to maybe motivate you, to maybe help you get out of debt, get a goal accomplished a lot quicker, or anything like that. I hope I was able to do that. Don't forget to like this video, you guys. Share with your friends and family, and I will see you guys in the next one.